That sounds like a coyote to me. This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Come on, let's go see a special kind of national park. If you want to see some rugged Badlands, then stop by the Badlands National Park. Badlands National Park is along Interstate 70 just to the east of the Black Hills in South Dakota. And it would take you roughly a little over an hour, depends on the traffic, between the Black Hills and out to the near end of the Badlands National Park. There's a loop road near the town of Wall that goes south and through the park, and that would take you an hour or so to drive if you didn't stop and take pictures and hike and camp and take part in the things that they offer at the park. Follow me. Let's head into the Badlands National Park. We'll just put the camera on the dash and drive along the road. You can see the land is pretty rugged. They know that this area was the bottom of an ancient inland sea millions of years ago. How do they know that? The area is rich in fossils. The rock consists mainly of soft rock, like sandstones, limestone, shale, volcanic ash. It is easily eroded by the wind and water because it's soft. When I say easily eroded, we are talking in earth-changing years. In a year, the Badlands erodes at the rate of about 2.5 centimeters. That's about an inch in a year. In contrast, you go over to the harder granite rock in the Black Hills, and it would erode the same amount, 2.5 centimeters or an inch, but it would take 10,000 years, not a year like the rock here does. So erosion is occurring everywhere, but a little faster in the bottom of an inland sea like we're looking at here. We'll just drive along the highway for a while. When we were there was not a lot of traffic. But in the middle of the summer, it can be bumper to bumper at times on this single road that goes through the park. There you can see the inland sea out there, the more level area. A number of the rock areas were in kind of layers that you could see, like here. We were told that the older layers were near the bottom and the more recent ones up near the top. It was springtime and leaves were not on the trees, but there weren't many leaves around this place. There was a number of pullouts and interpretive signs along the way at various pullouts. Here you can see how the time of day changes the color in the Badlands. This is quite colorful and partly due to the different kind of limestone and sand formations. A lot of these formations were this light-colored whitish type of rock, but it changed as well. This was a picture I took later in the day, and you can see how the color has changed quite a bit. We could see some trails like these here. You can hike. You can see where this rock formation has cracked due to the dryness. It is cold winters here and hot summers. little water, and the water that is here, a lot of it is unsafe to drink. When it rains, the wet clay becomes slick and sticky, tough stuff to walk across. Here's another scan of the area. That static noise is the wind getting caught in the microphone. They have a few nice boardwalks that lead out into the Badlands in several sections. Come on, join me. Let's take a walk around on this boardwalk here. You could not bring your pet with you on a walk on the boardwalk, and there was a reason for that. Besides running into a rattlesnake, they don't want you to walk on this landscape. Even one footprint takes many decades to recover from. Okay, nice boardwalk here. You don't want to be stepping off the boardwalk, and there are various signs here, as you can see, about some early fossils, and the plaques give you various kinds of information. I found it kind of a pleasant experience walking on the nice boardwalk and walking right out into the Badlands. A little bit of information for you. Only thing, a little too much wind. It is nice and brisky out this morning, I'll tell you that. But we don't have to walk on the mud flats. There's really no mud here. It's all dried up and cracked and kind of a moonscape. Like I was saying, there's not so many rocks here. It's more formations of mud. I just spotted a bluebird sitting on the walkway. So there's a number of birds here, thrushes and little flocks of blackbirds. Not a lot of, I'm sure there's not a lot of wildlife. You wouldn't see coyotes and things, animals like that so much. It is a flat prairie land until you drop down into these Badlands. Wildlife is generally sparse in this environment. In terms of human occupation, very little. No permanent living quarters ever found. Only groups traveling through in seasonal hunting activities. Always interesting formations and colors. One roadside signs told about a band, probably Lacota Sioux people, who traveled across this rugged land on their way to a place called Wounded Knee to the south. Wounded Knee was the last of the many massacres conducted against American Indians or indigenous people by the U.S. Army. The Lacota Sioux were being rounded up, displaced from their sacred lands in the Black Hills to make room for gold seekers and white settlers who wanted the land. The Lakota were forced to leave and go to a reservation of marginal agricultural quality to learn the white man's way of farming. An interpretive sign along the Park Road told of a Lakota band that traveled across the Badlands in 1890. Their leader was a local chief by the name of Bigfoot. And Lakota people like them were being rounded up by the Army. It was Washington's policy to force people to the reservation. Let's read what the sign says about their story. The sign says, the band of 350 men, women, and children continued their flight from units of the U.S. Army. Bigfoot was ill, close to death, and disillusioned by the broken promises of whites and by the lack of unity among Indians. His agony would last only 5 days. On December the 29th, we're talking 1890, nearly 200 of his people, himself and 30 soldiers, would die in the massacre at Wounded Knee, 65 miles to the south of where we stood here. And 65 miles is a little over 100 kilometers. Tough life in a tough land. Here's some more scenes of the Badlands close up. And there's the camper over there. So we are heading for it because it is cold out this morning. I hope you learned a little bit and enjoyed it. This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. We'll see you down the trail. Hit the subscribe button and that'll tell you when we're bringing more videos onto the internet. If you want to see more videos as we roll around the countryside, as it says in the bottom part there, just Google the little @ at Don Barnett 5090. Hit the word playlists in the middle of the page and scroll down. There's about 15 or 20 or 30 playlists, and each playlist contains several travel videos. So we're rolling on.